Hello, everyone. How are you? My name is Penda James, and if you are new to me, welcome to the Resilience Project. This is an opportunity for me to introduce my friends to my friends so that we can all do great work in the kingdom. The goal is to have sacred conversations with people who are important to me so that I can hear their bounce back story. And today, I don't know if she wants me to say her whole government name. So I am really, really excited to introduce you to someone that I call Starr. Known her since she was about 17 years old. And I named her that, although I forgot that I named her that. So later you will hear her declaration. I am a star. She is a social media influencer. She's a mental health advocate. I mean, she's a foodie. She's a travel person. I could go on, but I'm going to let her tell her story in her way to you. So thank you for watching. Please share, comment, and like us. And there are lots of other chats you can go back and listen to at another time. So Starr, is there something that I did not say about you that you want people to know?
Um, I'm an author. I'm a
Yeah.
writer. Yes. So I'm also a blogger and an author. I wrote my first book with the help of Mama Penda, and I'm currently working on my second book. My first book was a book of poetry, and my second book will be a children's book, and I'm really excited about that.
Me too. Okay, so how do you define what it means to be a star?
So, when you had gave me that name, it was after a youth church event or practice, and we were praying. And in the midst of that prayer, you told me you're a star, like you're going to be, just amazing. And you prayed over me, and I had never had that happen to me before, especially from like a woman that I looked up to, because I didn't have too many women to look up to in my life at that point in time, as my mother had passed away, and at that time I was in foster care. So when you gave me that name, I was in a dark place. And I come to the youth church for like just spiritual buildup and connection and community. And I found love and family at Mount Eric Youth Church. And so when you gave me that name, it gave me the opportunity to redefine myself and to build confidence in myself, and to take that name along with me throughout my life has allowed me to just grow and flourish, and to see myself as something that I did not have the opportunity to see myself as prior to that experience. And so, with that name that you gave me, I was able to, create a synonym that allowed me to look at myself in a different way. My love language is words of affirmation, so I like to affirm myself. And so, Star for me means that I am strong, I am talented, I am ambitious, I am revolutionary, and I am righteous. I have the capability to affect change, positive change in my life and in the people around me. I am strong enough to take on the battles that I come across. I'm very talented, and I'm working in my talents and working to share the things that I'm talented in with the people around me, because I don't think that our stories should be kept to ourselves. Um, and Ambitious, when I have something that I want to do, I'm going for it. And having strong women around me has allowed me to continue to be that strong and ambitious woman that I have grown to be.
Thank you for that explanation of what it means to be a star. And I did talk about how you're a social media influencer, and one of the things that I really learned about from you is about the mental health advocacy and how important it is to raise awareness about mental health and how people may respond to certain situations. It's not because something is wrong with them, but because they are living with a mental health concern, and we just may not know that. And so thank you for that the advocacy that you do, I love it. I love that about you as a young woman talking about things that are really, really hard, especially in the Black community. We are not talking about
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah. Um,
So, if you want to, you can talk a little more about your bounce back story and how you became a resilient woman. And can you do that by answering this question? How has being a star been a thread throughout your life?
been a threat throughout my life. So, um, as I was saying before, I lost my mom when I was 14 years old. After that, I was placed in foster care. So I was in foster care from the ages of 14 to 24. And there was just a lot that happened with that. I was diagnosed with an anxiety disorder and PTSD at the age of 14. And so that is where my passion for educating people on foster care and mental health comes from. It's very important for me to get the word out about foster care and mental health based off of the experiences that I had myself. I'm also currently a foster care social worker. I've been doing that for the last 7 years, and it's important for me to give back and to be someone who's relatable to the young adults that I work with now, so that they know that there's a way out, that there's something else to look forward to on the other side. You said what does star mean? Like how has it become a thread in my life? I would say in that setting an example for those who are coming behind me who share similar stories to mine. If I did not have that that character definition to look back to build my confidence, I don't know if I would be able to speak life into the young adults that I work with now as I am able to. If I didn't believe in myself, if I wouldn't have pushed my way through college, because I was severely depressed throughout college and no one knew, and I didn't talk to anyone about it, and a lot of my young adults, they go through that now. And so I have to, be a reminder to them that it's going to be okay. Things are, going to be hard, and your experiences are going to be different, but you can make it out on into the other side. So that's
But
what.
Star, this is okay. So you raised something for me that was really significant. Two things. Number one, that you were depressed in college and nobody knew. But then the second part of that was you still graduated.
Yes, yes, yes,
That in and of itself is a story of resilience.
yes.
So what would you say to the people who were around you? Like, what would you have wanted them to pay attention to help you, but you had it in you? So I don't know even know how to ask that question. What would you have wanted people to pay attention to so that they could help you with your depression? But then at the same time, you did it even though you were living with depression.
Right. So I will say that I had friends in school who identified some of my behaviors and were able to be there for me in those very, very dark moments when I could not take care of myself. But one thing that I want to work to break the stigma of is showing people when you're struggling, because I was hiding a lot of the things that I was going through from family. But I also think that if we were more educated on being aware of what depression and other mental health disorders look like, we would be able to catch some things and ask certain questions like, how are you doing? How is this affecting you? And really inquiring and asking, like, are you okay? How can I help you? And also for young adults, anyone who is watching this, to seek help and don't go through it alone. There were times when I had to go to a therapist on campus because I was like, okay, I have to do something about this. I can't keep living my life this way. I want to finish. I had to pull myself up out of where I was because I had a goal in mind and I wanted to reach that goal. And that was stronger to me than what I was in. But for, what I wish that, people would have said, or just I wish that I would have been seen, because a lot of times it's hard to come out and say I'm struggling. So it helps to have somebody who can see that you're drowning, even if you don't say anything. It's important to have that around you. So just I wish that people were more open and aware to it, and I that's why I do the work that I do now, because it is important, because a lot of kids that age and older and younger still go through things like that. So yeah, that's what I.
I just it really resonates with me because I that was something that I didn't even know that you were experiencing depression while in school. I only saw that you were dancing and doing all these things and excelling in school. So it's just so amazing to me that you had the
Yeah.
internal drive and motivation and determination and resilience to push through it even when there were times that you didn't have the energy to do so.
Yeah, it got bad. But I am very grateful for my teammates on the dance team, that they were there to allow me. Like there were times where I couldn't feed myself, and they would come over and like feed me and like pull me out of my bedroom and take me for walks and stuff like that. And I don't even think they knew what they were doing and how helpful it was. And I'll forever be grateful for those people. I'm still actually currently friends with them now. So I'm very
Wow.
grateful for, those people that God placed in my life to help me to get to this point in my life now.
And how could they not be your friends when they walked with you through some of the most difficult times? I mean, because you being in school and being by yourself was one thing, and then going through things and not having your mom is a whole nother layer of grief on top of that. So that is so that's why you're a star. Like that is just I'm amazed right now. I just think about resilience in a different, like this is a real bounce back. Like you getting up doing your work even though you couldn't get up and eat the day before. Like
Yeah,
how in the world? I just thank God. Like I need to just sit in that and just thank God for that.
yeah. It was a lot of prayer. I remember there was a point in time, like I said, words of affirmation is that's my thing. And there was a point in time where things had gotten really, really bad, and I was by myself. I was in my apartment by myself. I didn't have roommates, and I remember I just wrote scriptures on my walls. I wrote like quotes to myself to encourage myself, like all over my bedroom wall, to just continue to empower me and to continue to speak life back into myself, because I wasn't being vocal with anybody else about what I was going through. So I will say that it was definitely a lot of prayer, um, and just pushing. Mhm.
Would you change that being on this side of that experience? Would you have told more people?
Yes, absolutely. Um, because the one thing that I've learned now as an like an older adult is like a lot of times we're conditioned to like do things by ourselves and to, oh, you're strong enough, you can do it alone, you don't need anybody. But we need people to lean on, we need people to pour into us when we don't have it, we need people to pull us out and redirect us. Like we need each other. And like yes, I definitely would have been more vocal about what I was going through with my family back home, because everybody thought, oh, she's in school, she's doing well, and I really was not doing well. Like, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I finished school, but there were a lot of underlying things that I could have done more to, help myself. Now that I'm, looking back at it. Um, but I'm just grateful to have gotten through it.
So with your declaration, I mean, we talked about your declaration being a star. Can you state it again, the acronym?
I am strong. I am talented. I am ambitious. I am revolutionary, and I am righteous. Before it was resilient, but I changed it to revolutionary because revolutionary means to impact change. And that's what I want to speak to myself. I want to impact change.
And it's already understood
Mhm.
that you are resilient. So you don't have to say that because it's already understood. Is there something that we did not talk about that you want to share or that you want to raise awareness about?
Foster care in itself. I think a lot of times when we talk about not necessarily disparaged communities, but just a lot of times foster care isn't on the front line of conversations when people think about, groups of people who are in need. Foster care youth are definitely in need of mentorship, of understanding, love, compassion, resources. Um, so definitely foster care is something that I would love to raise awareness about. I apologize. My light
No,
just
you're
went
fine.
out. But just yes, foster care. We can never have enough foster care parents, volunteers, mentors, wherever you are watching this, get involved because we need you.
Mm, thank you for sharing your declaration, I am a star, and telling us your bounce back story. Is there a way that people can connect with you, like on your social media, or how can we buy your book, or do you have a t-shirt? Because I want to wear it.
I'm working on my t-shirts. But I can be contacted via Instagram, Fully Loving Yourself LLC on Instagram. On Twitter, I am
Okay.
flyxlotus.com. My email is fullylovingyourself LLC@gmail.com. And my book is available on Amazon.
What about your website? Because you're a blogger too.
Yeah, my website is Fully Loving Yourself. No, it's
Okay.
flyxlotus.com. So my website is flyxlotus.com. And my
Thank you.
blog is there, and all of my services are there.
Yeah, because you're an editor, like you have a lot of services. So thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I know that it's going to touch a lot of people, and I'm grateful that you were confident enough to share it with us today. I appreciate you. And for all of you who were watching, we thank you for being here and for watching. We hope you learned something. Go back and listen again and write some thoughts in your journal about being a star and about how you can push through, graduate, even though you are depressed. As long as you have people who are around you, they may not know how they're helping you, but they know they need to. I
Mhm,
said, that was powerful right there.
mhm,
Sheesh. So I guess that says to me, pay attention to the people that are around me, listen to what they're not saying.
That.
That was good. We love y'all so much. Thank you for being here with us today. See you soon.